Right, and there we
Oh,
go.
wait.
You guys stand up for this, or how do you do this?
I'm standing up. I have to.
Yeah, he
Got a
has
flag
to.
right here
There we
too.
go.
Why-
So do we
why
all
not?
stand?
Okay, no, you don't have to. All right, so here we
We
go.
are, there you
I pledge
go.
allegiance.
If you would go ahead, please.
Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of
Flag,
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Hoorah.
Thank you very much. And I think Bob has kindly offered to handle our invocation for us. So Bob, as soon as Chris gets settled there again.
Good. Let's bow our heads. Dear Father, thank you for the opportunity to get together with friends so that we may learn together how to do things for our communities so that we can spread your word and get things done and set examples for other people. Please bless all of these people. Bless our leadership in our country. Bless our churches. Bless our efforts in Rotary. Through Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
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 Thank
Thank
you,
you
Bob.
very much. So welcome, everybody. I am glad to see everybody here today. And I wanted to let you know real quick before we get going on our program that we are going to be having our district Rotary meeting in May, I think it is. Bob, do you know the date? I should have been a little more prepared on that. It's going to be in Florence.
It's actually the weekend of April 30th. I
April
just saw
30th.
the announcement today.
Thank you very much, Karen, always to my rescue. Everybody keep that in mind. Looks like it'll be an interesting event for us to be part of if you're able to. And I can send you some information on that. I'll send that out via email.
Carla,
Yes.
can I interrupt for just a second? Also, you might want to consider the Rotary International Conference will be in Houston this year, and they are running a special registration discount now through the end of February. So if anybody's interested in that, I've been lucky enough to go to, have I been to 2 of them now? I went to Atlanta, and it's quite an experience. Actually 2, I was at the one in New Orleans and then the one in Atlanta. It's really an unbelievable experience and helps you really see the scope of Rotary around the world.
Yeah, I was at the New Orleans one myself.
Do you know when that one is, Karen, offhand?
That one is, I believe, the second week of June. But if you go to the Rotary website, you can see that, and the special registration fee, it just goes, I don't know how much it goes up by, but I think it's still under $500 if you register before the end of February.
All right, thank you very much. I'll add that in when I send the email out about the other so that everybody can see what's available. So thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and get us going. We have Joyce, would you tell me how to pronounce your last name so I don't mangle it?
Foistel,
Foistel.
like Freud, if that helps, like Sigmund.
Okay.
You can
Yep.
sing.
Okay.
Or my name, Joyce Foistel.
There you
Accent
go.
on the Foist. Yep.
So we have Joyce Foistel here with us with Boomer's social media tutor. So we have a lot of things to learn today. I'm actually excited about this because we keep struggling at work. And I think I want to learn something that might be helpful for that, not just my personal life. Bob, did you have a bio for her?
Yeah, I do.
At the last minute he does, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I asked Joyce for it a week ago, and she just said to me, I said, Joyce, you wouldn't like me to make up my own. So but Joyce and I, we've known each other quite a while, but Joyce has founded Boomer's Social Media in 2010, and she went full-time with her business in 2013 when she retired from a 17-year career in sales. She provides group training and one-on-one tutoring in person or via Zoom to help businesses, owners, and job seekers, especially those 55 and older. I don't know anybody there here that is qualified for that, to be more effective and productive in using LinkedIn and Facebook. And like she said, Foistel is the way she pronounces her name. But I've had Joyce give talks to numerous clubs, and when I was district membership chair, I had her talk to us then, and she's just very pro Rotary and just a great person, and I'm proud to have her here with us tonight.
Thank you. What a wonderful introduction. As an add-on to Bob's, Bob, thank you for reading the introduction. I'd like to mention how I got into this line of work, and Nancy and Bob know a little of this background. I was 61 years old when I found my calling. So you see, it's never too late in case you know somebody. You all look like Chris is the one kind of on the verge of his next calling. But at any rate, I was working in sales for a niched college called the College for Financial Planning. It serves financial planners and people who want to get into that field from all over the USA. And back in 2010, 12 years ago, it launched social media. If you think of the evolution of social media, especially you, Karen, you'll know as much about this as any of us. It goes from, 03 with LinkedIn, 04 with Facebook, then maybe 05 with Twitter. And so the college then by 2010, the marketing people saw clearly that they better get going with social media. So they added these 3 sites to their marketing mix. And we in enrollment think inside sales, mostly commissioned by our payment, by our salaries, we're asked to chat up social media. Now, there was a little bit of resistance until the manager said, well, I can give you a $5 spiff. He didn't put it quite like that, but a little incentive here. For every time you get a Facebook like or a Twitter follow, they join our LinkedIn group, we'll pay you $5. Well, guess what? Me at 61 years old back in 2010, now I'm 73, around the age of some people in this Zoom room. At any rate, the thing of it was, I was the best chatter upper, I'll call it that official term, of social media compared to all my teammates, and they were much younger. So my manager was always he was 35. And he was like in awe that I could be this articulate about social media. I happened to like it. And for once in my 17 years of sales, I could talk about something other than sales and not get into trouble. Because usually I would wander along too long and talk about the Green Bay Packers and things like that because I'm from Wisconsin. So at any rate, he said to me, you know what, Joyce, I've been thinking, since here we are month after month after month, you hit our incentive pack and you explain so well to our students how social media works for us. Hey, have you ever thought about helping other people in your baby boomer generation, especially, to understand social media like you do? And that was the day that the angels sang in the sky, the clouds parted, and God just channeled himself right through Brett Sandberg. So here I am today, 12 years later. I started my business full-time in March of 13. It was shortly after that I met Nancy when I joined the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce. So my focus, as Bob said in the introduction, are business owners primarily, but also job seekers who want to really get their arms around LinkedIn because they know they should, they want to, but they're kind of intimidated or confused. So then I do a little bit with Facebook. I would say it's 85% of my business, my tutoring business and almost all my speaking business and volunteer speaking like this comes, it centers around LinkedIn. So tonight what we're going to do, and I have right about 30 minutes, right, Carla? Can you keep me on track there? Okay. We're going to talk about how you can reference your Rotary involvement in your LinkedIn profile, and then I'll also talk about the profile in that context. So all that may kind of fit together. How you can share posts about your Rotary activity, comment and share on posts of other Rotarians, and share posts from your company page once you have one. Maybe you can get Karen to do it. She's good in marketing, just throwing that out there. And from the international organizations. And I know, Carla, you've shared from there because, again, I've been snooping around. So what does a profile consist of? Let's go to hope I have this right here. Here we go. Here is, does everybody see now? Around my profile. So to get to your profile, you can go from here, the little teeny tiny picture of you, and click on view profile, or from home, you can also take a little shortcut here. Here is where you would logically talk about your day job. I mean, we can go around and just look really quick at other people's. We'll look at Carla. Let's see, what does she have? Hang on, hopefully I can do this and get back to mine. Carla needs help. Actually, Carla needs to have a background photo. Chris, is this lovely or what? Can you see Chris's with his family? Mm-hmm. Isn't that neat? And he looks very dapper. The background's a little busy here, but you yourself look good. Then we could look at Karen. I love this, except I'm not quite sure you don't have the kids there, but maybe that's a COVID statement or something. But you look gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So just to show a few quick examples of what other people are doing, then I'll go back to me. So this is me, kind of a composite picture of me giving a presentation. Here's my ebook. And this is fun. I dare any of you, but I'll especially dare the marketing professor to do this. You can create a video cover, a cover story. Just like you may have seen those of you that do Instagram perhaps or other sites. Now watch this, here I am.
Are you a business owner?
Listen
or
up.
a job seeker who is really frustrated With your LinkedIn experience, would you like to be more productive or effective on this very important social media site? If so, contact me, Joyce Boystel, Boomers Social Media Tutor. I have the knowledge, the patience, and the positivity to help you out.
Cute, right? See it. I practice that a lot. I practice on my phone. I put it up in a little, tripod thing. But you could bring Rotary into that, right? Here's my day job, and oh, I'm also a Rotarian. I'm just throwing that out there. It's an idea. Okay, next place you could add Rotary would be here in your headline. The default headline is kind of boring. I've seen most of you, like Chris is very good. He's got other things in here that aren't right from his experience section. But you could just even say Rotarian, something as simple as that. Because putting your whole club name in there would take almost half of the 220 characters they give you. So that's, and where you put that in is the pencil here, which you may know. You're going to go down here and then somehow add, Rotarian. I like to use this little separator. It's called the PIPE key, where you hold on your shift key and you strike the backward slash. I think I should go like that. And that way you get this separator. And then another little thing like Auburn, that's a pretty good sized city. So it would probably comes up normally for the people in Auburn, but if you're in like Fairhope, I don't know if there's a larger city. If Fairhope's big enough, you just leave it there. Like I wouldn't say, for example, Lakewood, the suburb I'm in up here in the Denver area, I would say Denver metro area. But now here's another really cool thing, contact info. Contact info is seen by my connections. I should point that out, not everybody. But the cool thing, these are all clickable links. So here's my company. Now I could have, if I was a Rotarian, I could have my Rotary's club. You would have a website, right? You could have maybe your Facebook page, whatever. I don't know if you'd have a meetup group or not, but see, you could have these other URLs in here that you could have. And then here you have, this is, I don't know how many of you have done this because I didn't get that far in checking out your sites, but if you go to the pencil and you go here, now you can brand yourself, which is tricky for someone like Chris because he's in this transition stage. But Bob, you could even say, Bob Walsh, past Rotarian or Passport Club, Rotarian mentor, something like that. That might not be even 100 characters. So you could do that. So it depends. Well, one quick thing to watch for when you're in that screen, go down and make sure that everybody can see your LinkedIn profile. Because everything you're saying and doing on LinkedIn, that's public information, just FYI. And I keep all the sections so people can see them and not hide them. So, and going down, one other thing, I don't know how much is applied, maybe mostly to Bob, but if you don't want to give out a private cell number, you can get something called Google Voice. And Google Voice, maybe you've heard about it, Karen. It's a way to have a public facing number connected to Google, then it associates itself with your personal cell.
Did you know that?
Yeah. So I'm going to keep kind of whipping down, and I can help anybody. I'm offering 30 minutes of free consultation too. So going down just a little bit, I'm going to skip some of this here. About, okay. About is the story of you in the context of your professional career and potentially also your Rotarian life. So you, 8 years, Carla, that's quite a while. You could even have a heading like you get a professional accomplishments, professional background, something, you've been in the field of HR for over 20 years, something like that. Then you could have my, you could say volunteer leadership roles in case you do things besides Rotary. And so you could talk about them for a paragraph or two. So it's part of who you are. And I could have put Toastmasters in here, but for me right now, I'm more focused on my business here. But then watch this, folks. If someone has sent you some kind of, we'll call it a love note, a testimonial, whatever, about your business, a student who thinks you walk on water, Karen, for example, and you get these, right? So you can put this up there with their permission, even if you're not connected on LinkedIn, or they're maybe retired. They're not like Bob, who's so active as a retired person, but maybe there's someone you used to work with, like Chris, you could run into that. And, you worked with them really closely and now they're retired and they're like, why would they do LinkedIn? Like my husband, he doesn't have a point to be on LinkedIn. So you can put these little snippets about yourself. Now, featured is so cool. It came out right around the time that COVID did. So that's kind of a good thing of that, spring of 20. Let me show you how featured works. So you go up to the add the profile section. There's a slide on this. And you go down to recommended. And then you click on add featured. So if you haven't featured anything before, there'll be kind of just this blank graphic. I mean, it'll be a graphic and white behind it. And then you click on this plus. And now you can feature a post you put up on LinkedIn, perhaps about a Rotary event, something related to that locally or nationally, internationally even, or an article, or even a link to a landing page, maybe where you want the visitor to check out your club go and there's a nice visual there. If it's too many pictures, LinkedIn gets really confused. And then there's no, what they call thumbnail. There's no image that it brings over. Media could work. 5 reasons to join Rotary, something like that, a little PowerPoint. So let's just do the post just as an example. So I'm giving a talk tomorrow. So I'll do this just for 24 hours and see what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just click on feature like that. And I think I'm going to have to go down and say, maybe not. They changed things recently. Okay. So now, oh, that's so weird because they're only having one thing featured at a time. Wait a minute. I'm still in there. My bad. Okay. Now I'm exiting. Okay, there it is. See, here's my new one I featured. There's me. Actually, that's shortly after I fell on the cement and I bruised the whole side of my face. You can see that. I'm much better. That was 2 weeks ago. But the point of this post was basically just show up. See my hashtag? Just show up. I don't care how you look, unless you're going to be interviewed on national television or something. Maybe you don't want to do it. But I just say, don't let how you're looking hold you back. I like to have little messages. And Bob and Nancy, remember when I broke my wrist last June, I had a whole series of posts about, dealing with that. Just look at this. You put some, I have like 4,453 views. Life blows, probably get Chris, like not too shabby. The one I really want to share with you just for fun. I think if I'm still in feature, I'll go back and show you. This is to kind of liven up your, this one is, oh no, where'd it go? It's here somewhere. Okay, it's down here. Oh, the Santa dress. Maybe you saw that on Facebook too, Bob and Nancy. This is me turning 73 years old right before Christmas. And it's this Mrs. Claus sweater dress I have. Look at this, 22,000, almost 22,000 views. OMG, right? I say I'm more.
My teenage daughters will be very jealous to see.
What's that? Who would be jealous?
My teenage daughters.
Your teenage daughters. Yeah, you tell me a grandma who's really rocking her LinkedIn. So I just show this because LinkedIn on its face is boring. Let's just face it. It is plain old boring. So we have to think of things to do to make it more visually interesting. So see, now as you go down, now here's the more resume-esque, side of it, the experience. And even here, see, remember I told you about PowerPoint? So you can click here, and this is a talk similar to what I'm doing right now. So that's I put in there. Here's a little YouTube video of me. So you can do so much. And for each of these, then you can have up to 2,000 characters. You have 2,600 for the about. And then here you can just talk a little bit about your job. Again, more testimonials. So what I was thinking for Rotary, see what you could do is, let me get out of here. See what I did here. Here's a board I'm on here. See, I was the social media chair for my district of Toastmasters. Those Toastmasters organized very much like Rotary because a man, Ralph Smedley, who started Toastmasters, was a very active Rotarian. So he really, though Toastmasters is not a service club like Rotary or Kiwanis, but its structure is very similar. So I did that. That was a big job, volunteer. And there's my last day job before I retired. But then, see, I was district governor. I was, I did other things too, where it all goes, that I have in here, here it is, district governor. So I put a lot of time into Toastmasters, rightfully. I want to acknowledge that. Now people can actually, they can recommend me for roles. Like, so for example, Carla, you put in being president of this Volunteer Voyagers Passport Rotary Club, then you could get recommended by other people here in the club. I mean, that have to be on LinkedIn with you, albeit. So that's why I say, include your leadership here in Rotary and in other groups. So going down, we have certifications. That's pretty straightforward. I don't know if we have people to whom that would apply. You actually in HR, there's different kinds of certifications, right, Carla? So there might be ones you would add. Now, one thing I did here, Nancy will recognize this. Here's the Women's Chamber. Now, what's interesting, up in experience, you can move things around. I meant to show you this. So say you put in your president, being president of Rotary, but it's going to overshadow your day job. We don't want that, right? So what you do, you go here, watch carefully, and then you reorder. So say if that's where the Rotary Club thing had landed, no, you would bring that down to make sure your day job is the first listed one. See, you can do, as long as it says present, 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 you can move them around in the experience part. But curiously, down in the volunteer part, you can, wait a minute, they have a new format here. I'm still getting used to it. Down in volunteer, you, like, for example, I include, oh, where are we here? Sorry. I have this, I ended in 20, but I have it at the top because they allow you to move them all around. You aren't limited. So if I was president of a Rotary Club back in the 90s, I would include that because that's quite a big deal to be president of a Rotary Club. So, and I might put it at the top, who knows, even if I'm not even Rotary now. But notice what I've done here. I want to show you this one, get out of this. I have, because like Bob has been around Rotary a long time, I've done Toastmasters 25 years. I aggregated all my different district roles and some club roles too into one position. Otherwise, the Toastmasters would overshadow the rest of my profile, right? Does that make sense? So then we get to, oops, sorry. See, every time you go into a section, you gotta then get out of it. They didn't always have it that way. So other ways I was thinking for you guys is recommendations. Again, like I mentioned, you could write recommendations for each other. If you had an article, like for example, or in a blog, I'll say, for example, I had that for my district blog back in 20, we had these really, it was so fun because these people from Taiwan came through Zoom, a whole contingent of them, 5 or 6, to our Toastmasters Club meeting. So I wrote a little, just a short, a little blurb about that. So it got published in my district Toastmasters blog. So that was kind of feather in the cap for my club. And, you know, it was in human interest kind of story that we had. So that's just something to think about. But the big thing, folks, the thing I really encourage you to put in would be projects. I mean, that has got Rotary's name. That project is Rotary's all about projects, right? So you put in a project, you create it like this, you fill out the little template in the name of the project, when to start, when it end, maybe you're still working on it, and watch this, add creator. Then you're doing it with someone else, maybe even another Rotary Club, and then you have to be connected, but they don't have to give you permission. So say I do this with Carla, this project, and she and I are now connected on LinkedIn. I don't need her blessing to add her. Now she's informed that I add her. Hey, Joyce added you to this project. You might want to put it on your profile. So she can't take it off, which is interesting. So hopefully we always stay on good terms, right? Me and Carla. So I find this interesting because especially for a job seeker, if they're, I call it name dropping. If they can say, oh, well, I know Carla, you know, I know Larry, whatever. So they're like, how do you know them? So it shows your generosity of spirit. It shows you're connected to people in the community. I mean, this is all win, win, win to include projects in your profile. And of course, any honors and awards. I was named District Toastmaster of the Year. I kind of really worked on that district governor that year. I said, Bob, you know, I should be named this. You know, finally, he did break down and give it to me. But I'm the person that should have gotten, like Bob, probably a Lifetime Achievement Award, but they don't have that in Toastmasters. I'll settle for this one. And then organizations, even ones you aren't in anymore, you can still include them. So I show you all this to show how robust the profile of Toastmasters. Do you have any questions about this before we move on to the other parts of what I want to cover? Anybody got anything?
Busy taking notes.
You okay? Good thing this is being recorded.
All okay, just trying to take it all in.
Okay, all right. So next, so let's talk about posting. So I can do something really simple like this, you know, having a blast, presenting, sharing tips. Okay, sharing tips with members of the, I want to get it right, volunteer, is it plural on the volunteers?
No, volunteer.
Volunteer.
Voyagers.
Voyagers. Passport. Rotary Club, right?
That's the French spelling of Voyagers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm from, the upper Midwest. I should know that, French Canadian. Rotary Club serving, okay. Serving Rotarians in Southern Alabama, right? Does that capital? Should I capital the S?
That's good.
I saw that,
Maybe
yeah.
Alabama. Sharing LinkedIn tips. Let me go back to that. Okay, LinkedIn tips. Okay, then, spell it right would help. And then thank you. Okay, thanks so much. Now watch this. This is just like Facebook. Bob Walsh, we're pretty sure that's you, right?
Mhm.
Like Bob Walsh for inviting me. And Carla, where are you? SIR. For being such a gracious host of the meeting as the club's president. Yeah. Fun to see Nancy. I know if Nancy's still on here. We'll put her on for a fun. Yeah. Nancy Welsh too, but Nancy's probably, there she is at retired.
Oh, yeah.
On that picture. Fun to see Nancy Welsh too. So I should probably put this, I gotta put it virtual. Having a blast doing in a virtual, I gotta put sharing LinkedIn tips. Oh, through a Zoom meeting. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Now watch the last thing you can do. We can do hashtags, not too many, maybe 2, 3, 5 at the most. So this is the LinkedIn training. We can do LinkedIn tips. These are the ones I usually do. But then, hello, we'd be remiss if we didn't say Rotary, Rotarian, Rotary connects the world. Oh, I like that. Let's just do that too. Yeah. In another lifetime, for sure, I'll do Toastmasters. I'll do Rotary, but maybe when I'm in my 80s and I slow down a little bit. So now we have this, and see what I've accomplished by doing this is I've done a PR for your club, right? So let's go and watch all this. Here's my post. Here we go. Ooh, it's right here. Okay. So what did that take me? 2 minutes, right? So I tagged Bob, I tagged Carla, I mentioned your club, I mentioned Nancy. So that's PR. So I think sometimes people put too much thought in it. They overthink a LinkedIn post. It doesn't have to be involved. When you do put a cute picture up like an older lady in a Santa dress, yeah, you will get a little more eyeballs in it. But we don't have to go that far. We can just talk about our lives and little tips. For example, a friend of mine was just in her post was, they brought attention to it through, let me show you this, it's really interesting. Yeah, it was my post from this morning. Here it is. Okay. There is a feature in notifications that you can know when somebody you're connected to on LinkedIn is featured by LinkedIn news team. So cool. So my friend Valerie put a comment up on this news story of LinkedIn. Now this didn't get a lot of posts, but maybe some people who really care on this topic. So if you go down very far, we'll get to Valerie. So then I went and commented on Valerie's, and look at all this attention her comment gets. And we're all in front of these other people. Isn't this interesting? So that's a way to do kind of engagement. But I would say, let's just go to our friend Carla, which I already have up here. There she is, I can go over there. So if you want to go snooping around what other people are posting, again, remember I said it's an open book here. We can go here to see all activity, and Carla's just a poster child, so I'm glad we've got you here. And then we go to your posts, and then ta-da, who was that? Karen was talking about the International Convention, right? Here it is. See, this is so exciting. So you have all this going on, Imagine Rotary. And then there's this, didn't you talk about the convention too, I think? Maybe that was a different one. But see, she's taken it off of your International Rotary's page and shared it. So, so all I'd have to do here, I could comment on it like this, or I could share it and that would go over to my people. Well, either way, my people will see it. But if I would put that sort of on my page, if you will, on my profile, then I can feature it too if I wanted to. Or, if you think you can just go directly to that Rotary International company page, and then you can go look in to see what else they have. I think that's where I saw the, I love this. Did you see about this couple been married 70 years? That is so dang cool. I love this little snippet. If you haven't seen it, go and read about it.
That
And
was
then
Nancy
here-
and I.
What's that?
That was Nancy and I.
Yeah, right. This is where I saw it. This is what you were talking about, right, Karen? Here is the international convention coming up, not too far away for you guys, just over in Houston. So, yeah, so see, look at this. I mean, I'll tell you, Rotarians do a good job of tracking on, what your international is posting. So I think that is really neat. Now, I wanted to show you an example of what a Toastmasters Club has done for their company page. Again, think almost like a business page. I know a lot of Rotary clubs have business pages on Facebook. It's really comparable. So I did a training for them. They're down in Miami, sort of like this. It was a lot of fun. And so then here we see what they're doing, they're about, and this is nice because you have up to 2,000 characters in this about section to talk not just about Rotary, but about your club and the whole idea about how cool it is for people that cannot make those physical meetings, that you have this opportunity, you and the other passport clubs. So it's just take verbiage you already have probably on your website, not rocket science here. And then here it just has some of their posts and such. So and the other cool thing about this, let me show you something, is, where did I get this from? My friend Eve. Okay, so if I want to see who's involved with this club, watch this, 38 followers. No, it's not there. It's in there. Maybe they don't have it set up a little differently. People, but let me find her, I think, Eve. So if you're an officer, then here she is, Eve Horn. See, I met her through a freebie training I did, kind of like this. And then watch this. So whoops, I got the wrong place. I'm not in the right part of her profile. Go to Eve. And then we go down. She's an area director too. They call it area director now, not governor. But see how she's like you. She's president of the Toastmasters Club. See, Carla? Vice president before. So see here, this is not the Toast, this is their clubs with similar to, maybe the logo changed too, but the point is now it's going to say Toastmasters International or the district. No, this is actually their club. So you see how that displays now and how it's different. Yeah, Bob asked me to talk to you about that. And yeah, I think that's any other questions you might have?
Joyce, how did you learn all this?
That's a great question, Bob. I would say some of it, I read books. I read a lot of different books at the beginning back, in 2010, 12 in there. And then I was a member of the Colorado Association of Women in Social Media or something like that. I learned from them. I follow people like my friend Wayne Breitbarth, who's written books. I get his blog and I pay attention, to when things change. So it's somewhat, it's again, I'm going to say assimilation isn't quite the word I want, but it's simply tracking with things.
So let me ask you this, Joyce.
Yeah.
What would be the three top things you would suggest to us as a fledgling passport club? What would be the three top things that we should do to help us get the word out and attract new members and interest? What would you do? What would you suggest that we do?
I love how you frame that. First off, everybody get your profile ripped into shape and bring Rotary, your particular club and Rotary in general, in some of the ways I suggested here in your profile. So you want to weave the club into your profile, A. Then B, when you have anything coming up, when you've done, we had Joyce Foysel here, and boy, we learned so much about LinkedIn. So, somebody puts a post up about that. And we had her here because she didn't have to come all the way to so-and-so Alabama. No, she just came from Denver, Colorado, like, woo, just a Zoom meeting. And you too can participate, the wonders of our virtual world. So I think regular posts about your speakers, your service projects. So all of that, I think that's how you really get energy into LinkedIn, is you post even once a week, twice a month, take turns, share from the Rotary International, because there's somebody they pay a bunch of money to, hopefully, that's putting information out, so you can share from that. And then also honor each other. When you know someone, maybe Karen just got some award, 15 years of being a professor there, And it's not Rotary, but you can still say, oh, we're so excited for Karen. I know her through my Rotary Club. And good for her, 15 years. There's a cool little thing called kudos. It's so cute. I didn't put it in here, but let's just show it to you. So you go here to these, I think it's the 3 dots. It's kind of misleading, celebrate an occasion. And I could give a kudo. They just have to be connected. See, so I can go back in Carla, you're my new best friend here, right? So I'm giving her, so I'm going to say, I'll give her, my husband's always doing donuts when he texts with our granddaughter. I just want to say thank you for, being such a wonderful, host of of tonight's meeting of your, I might not even, but I might do that because I just did the other one, but you get the idea. So I'm trying to think of other ideas, but I think the profile is the most critical. A. B, the posting would be next, your posting, but then C, really the engagement with each other and even other Rotarians, but specifically your club members, you're a team, you're a family, you want to support each other. Somebody, say Chris joins, gets active. We're so excited about our newest member, Chris. Let us tell you about him. So does that all make sense, Bob?
Yeah, do we have to have our own special page?
I would recommend if someone's willing to kind of put the TLC into that. Do you have a vice president of public relations or some role like that in the club? Is there an officer role that does marketing?
Not right now. I would love to have one. We don't have one yet.
Karen,
I think Karen wants to volunteer.
Volunteer, maybe. But it would naturally fall if you had such a person under their bailiwick. And you don't have to, maybe put a post up on it once a week, twice a month. You don't have to post, I don't think, a lot to that company page, but it does give a logo to you. It gives a recognition to your club, to all the members that associate that volunteer leadership role with a club in both the experience section and also in the volunteer part of their profile.
I see a lot of organizations doing their Facebook page on their home club on Facebook.
I think Facebook is probably better in many ways than LinkedIn for having, it's more important, let me put it this way, to have a strong Facebook business page than it is to have a LinkedIn company page.
It really depends on how our club kind of evolves, because
that's a good point, Karen. Can you speak to that?
It depends on your target audience, or in marketing is your target audience. But so I was the social media manager and public relations director for the Auburn Rotary Club. And I was encouraged to do a Facebook page and to keep it updated. The thing is, none of our members, they are actually over the age that is active on Facebook. The average age in that club is about 72. And that means that the ones we have kind of 2 groups. So it just didn't work because the members, for whatever reason, just were not active on Facebook. So it didn't build the momentum that we were hoping.
Right.
And we have a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very active. I have not had a lot of time to pay attention. And this is a good motivator for me to get the LinkedIn stuff done and to do more with the Facebook. But I absolutely, if anybody wants to help, I'm happy to turn over the reins on some of this. But we have it built. We just need to start using
I think you could kind of use both. Again, it takes some time. But see, the really big difference between a Facebook business page and a LinkedIn company page, with a LinkedIn company page, it syncs in with your profile and in a more direct and obvious way. And I think that for a younger population, they're like, oh, what's this? Here's the way I think about it. Toastmasters helped develop so many things in me I never had a chance to do in my day job. Never, ever, ever. And the same with Rotary. Rotary gives, I almost get goosebumps thinking about leadership skill opportunities, service opportunities, things you never get to do at your regular job. So you get to showcase that so much better. The interface is stronger, I think, in LinkedIn. And Facebook, yes, a person might think to put the link from their personal profile on Facebook and tie it into their Rotary. That's true. Or they may post a lot about Rotary, but not everybody is so keen on having their personal Facebook life be out there seen by a lot of people. People can be a lot more reticent to use their personal side of Facebook as part of their promo for Rotary. So what's, I think is qualitatively different on LinkedIn, which is by its very nature, a business-oriented professional type of site. Is that, do you see the differentiation, those of you active on both, how that would work out? That's just my sense of the two. So,
I was just trying to give these guys some feeling, particularly Chris, who's getting starting out new, and
yeah.
And Karen, she'll be a big help to us.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris would have a lot of great ideas. Yeah. Make him Karen's assistant. I got this all planned out, you know.
Be happy to do that. And
Yeah, I
Karen,
think
that
it'd be
explains why I can never see any updates on the Auburn Rotary Facebook page. He just answered that for me. So now we're having the same problem with MOA, with the Military Officers Association of America. It's the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's just it's hard. I mean, nobody's really cracked the code on what social media site works for all generations.
There
It's
isn't
tricky.
one.
There really
There
is.
isn't one. And there
Although
will
I
be new
think
ones.
LinkedIn spans as many as any of them, you know.
Oh, it's great.
Whereas I would say boomers, we're Facebook people. We're actually YouTube people too. And then you get to the Gen Xers, they're going to be more Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Those
That's my kids. That's my daughters.
Yeah.
I
Kids,
can't.
don't you got Snapchat? You got TikTok,
Doc,
all these others.
There you go.
Right? I don't even have accounts there, but
And
but
Joyce,
you know,
you hit
I'm
on
not-
you
Go
hit on
ahead.
something really important, and is
Yeah.
how people it's not just the platforms we're on, but what we choose to use them for.
Yeah.
If Rotary is more like part of our profession, then LinkedIn absolutely is the king there. And but if someone is in Rotary, and it's especially, I'm thinking about what I'm really thinking about is a lot of our retired members that were in an Auburn club, they just tend to shy away from social media altogether. If they use it, it's usually to keep up with their family who maybe live far away,
Right.
or things like that. These tools are so versatile. We use them for different reasons, and we have to remember that not everybody uses them for the same reason or the
Very
same
nicely
purpose.
put. Yeah.
I think the uniqueness of being a passport club and being all virtual attracts a certain type of person to begin with.
Amen.
And those people are the people who are on social media anyway. So I think we've got a better reach for the people we're looking for in this.
I would agree with that. And one thing I remember, I was giving a talk at my Toastmasters club about millennials and Toastmasters, millennials on LinkedIn. And I think it was a couple days before the talk, and I had done some Google searching, and it wasn't very encouraging. Oh, millennials hate LinkedIn. This was maybe 7 or 8 years ago when they were that much younger, right? And their profiles weren't that developed because they were that much younger. So I put this post up and say, hey, my millennial friends out there, tell me what you think about LinkedIn. What's been your experience? OMG. It was one of those other like thousands of responses. People would tag their friends. Hey, you know, Susie Q, that wouldn't be her name as millennial. You got to see this. Answer Joyce's question. I wrote a whole blog post. You know what they love about LinkedIn is the equal playing field. So you can reach out to someone on LinkedIn. You don't have to go through some secretary, some gatekeeper. You start following somebody. You start maybe commenting on their posts. You start developing a bit of a relationship, and you ask them to connect. You're like, well, of course. Could we have maybe a virtual cup of coffee? Oh yeah, no problem. I need some informational interviewing about my next career. There's a generosity of spirit, I think, of many of the people, at least on LinkedIn. So these millennials that are my people, I thought that was fascinating because they was quite the opposite of what the supposed research studies were showing that I found from Google searching. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I have one of the things that I thought was cool is, so a lot of my followers, I've got a lot of people, but a lot of people link to me because of my position. So they're either looking to sell me something or they're looking for a job. So it's not a lot of people that I interact with a lot, but I had a post go viral, and it wasn't even a post of mine. It's just one I shared, and it happened so quickly and so unexpectedly. So I had 68,000 views on it in the span of about 2 days, maybe. I don't think it just all of a sudden it just took off. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. And it's one of those things you think, well, if we can get this dialed in and one of us has a post about something that we're doing that does that. I mean, just think what we've done.
Oh yeah.
I am not a social media. I don't like pictures of myself. I don't like videos of myself. I don't like that sort of thing. I'm kind of a behind the scenes sort of person. So it's kind of comes back to your level playing field. I can still do things like this
Of course,
without having to be necessarily in the spotlight and get the message across and reach a lot
Right.
of people. So,
exactly. It takes, a village to pull these things off, and everybody can have different parts.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think especially human interest posts, whatever it might have been, I'd love to see that. Oh, if we find it, send it to me.
I'm
That'd be fun.
gonna,
If you
I
have
was,
a
I was
post,
digging for it a while ago, just
Yeah.
to,
if you have a post and you
Okay.
want to like send it to somebody by email, there's those 3 dots at the top of the post that says copy link to post. And then you could send that out to people. Or then of course you can copy it. Yeah.
there you go. Here's the one that went out. It was 2 years ago.
Look at
68,000
that.
views on the post. And
Nervous.
all, and you can see my outstanding commentary there. All I wrote on that post was absolutely. And
Wow. So it
it
had
was
to
just,
do, can you close it? He said his son needed, oh. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and it's, I do a lot of that sort of thing, talking about kind of human interaction.
I
That's
love
sort of
that
one of the
stuff.
things.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
it just took off. It was
Yeah.
just kind of interesting.
That's a
that it
great
did.
example.
So
Joyce, do you think that article that I sent you would be good to include?
Well, I guess I didn't, I wasn't, it was dinner time. I didn't have a chance to open it up. So what was it about?
It was about the retreat that we did with the Purple Heart veterans.
Oh, okay.
And
That could be.
it was supported by several Rotary clubs. And,
Oh. Well, you
so-
can, you can actually, let me pull this up.
Oh, did I send
you
that
have
to
it up
you?
on your LinkedIn page, Bob?
Here it is. Okay.
No.
So-
Did I send that to
No,
you?
I can, here, hang on a second. This is what he's talking about. So you can have a link. So here's an example where if he could have, when you put like a 2 or 3 paragraph setup of this, so then you put the link in and then it would then it would fetch this visual here, right? And then that would be a post. That would make a great post, actually.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
this a lot. Yeah, because what's good, now the only thing might confuse is there's several images. So the question is whether they would hopefully, I'd have to practice with it to see if it wouldn't confuse LinkedIn because there's other pictures. I'm not sure of that. I have to look at the technical side of that.
Well, I'll look at it. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can look at it. But I
You
just
can
thought
try.
we could post it for the Passport Club, and it would get
Sure.
some traffic is my only.
Oh, I
thinking.
like that. Yeah, I mean, this is like people have lives outside of Rotary. So this talks about the other kinds of things that your members are involved in. That's lovely, Bob. I think that's perfect. Definitely.
I'll send that to you, Carl. I
Yeah.
don't think I sent it to you.
I've got the article.
Mhm,
You sent me
good.
the link.
Well,
Okay.
again, I stress that my information, I can put it real quick in the chat too, but I think you sent that out, Carla, right? The PDF?
Yes,
So
I did.
everybody's got that. Did you get it too, Chris, I hope? You got that? You're nodding. So there's a link there to my Calendly scheduling tool. 2 years ago, when COVID first hit and I started doing these kind of complimentary trainings, I think it was God that probably said, you should help these people more than just a training. Give them 30 minutes each for free. I said, really, God? I got to pay my bills. So maybe it wasn't quite like that, but I went ahead and then I thought, I cannot be dealing with, well, how was Tuesday for you? No, Thursday is really better. Well, Friday could maybe work. And, it takes you a week to get scheduled. So I got my Calendly going, and it's like before Calendly and after my calendar scheduling tool. So I helped 80 people for free in 20. And I'm sure I got to add it up, but I think it was another 80 last year. And I do it because it's the right thing to do. We all give back. Maybe we don't serve 30 years in the military. That's pretty damn outstanding, but we all give back in our own way. So that's my, contribution. It makes me feel good to do that.
Well, you're sure very good, and you're great.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate you very
Oh,
much.
you're welcome, Bob. This has been so much fun. It's fun to meet your Rotary family. I love it.
I have learned a lot tonight. Thank you. I'm gonna work on some things and
Actually, I'm gonna have to scoot because I got a Toastmasters club to get to. I wasn't sure I'd get to go, but now I get to go because it's
Nice.
only 20 minutes away. Yay. All right.
awesome.
Great.
Well,
I
thank
have
you
to
for
deal with
joining
this
us for
snow.
this.
Okay, nice
Thank
meeting
you.
all of
Thank you
you.
for everything.
Joyce, I'll give you a call, Joyce. I'll give
All
you
right,
a call.
bye-bye. We'll see ya.
Bye. All right. Bye. All right. Well, she was awesome, Bob. Thank you so
She's a
much
piece of
for
work.
connecting
She's a piece of
us.
work.
Absolutely. I like it. And she's got some great ideas and
You know,
suggestions.
I'll give her a business plug. I had her come talk to a couple of companies, and she is outstanding with a group of people. She breaks them up into groups, and she makes them each do their LinkedIns. And when they walk out of there, they have a full LinkedIn, and they have the whole thing that they can do. So you might want to consider that in HR. You know, it's something you could do. And so,
Yeah,
anyway.
definitely. Well, any other thoughts or comments, folks, before we close things out? We had a full meeting tonight. This is great.
Yeah, that was very helpful. I'm anxious to get on my LinkedIn now and check out some of those things and do some updates.
Well, we got some other good ones coming. I got a guy that I'll just share this just a little bit with you. His name is Jack Jones, and he's about 3 years out of college, 4 years out of college, maybe that much. And he walked into work one day and rode up the elevator. It was a strange looking guy. Went to his desk. The guy walked out behind him and walked down the hall and opened fire and killed 12 people.
Oh my God.
And he relates the whole story from the whole beginning to the end and how they cope with it and how he worked with the people. And I don't know if anybody, Bob Callahan. Bob's Rotarian. He was the district foundation guy. He was Rotarian for like 30 years. He told Jack in front of our club that was the best presentation he saw in all 30 years.
Wow.
So Jack is going to come talk to us. So we're good.
Yep.
Wow.
Thank you. And
Let's
if
get started on it.
yeah, if any of y'all have ideas about other contacts, other speakers we can bring in, please let Bob and Bill and I know so that we can reach out to them and get them in touch. So looking forward, we've had some really good ones lately, and I think that it's just going to keep getting better with regards to that. Gonna have to start working on some service projects soon, figure out what we want to do and how we want to do it. And we'll see where we go. But I hope everybody has a great week, rest of your weekend until we meet again in about 2 more weeks. And we will close with our 4-way test. I'm going to actually share my screen for those of you who haven't memorized it yet. There we go. I think y'all can see it at this point. So of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And thank you so much. I hope y'all have a fantastic evening. Enjoy your families. And thank you.
Send me Chris's contact.
Thank you.
I'll send it to you, Bob. No problem.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bob.
Later.
Good seeing everybody.